Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me on Berets, and yeah, how are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well, because today was kind of a giant gong fest for, well, the game that we play in Epic 7, and yeah, I get it. There are a lot of players out there who take this game very seriously, and there are lots of players out there who take this game, just for fun, and then there are people who don't play it. And to start the video, that is always one of the most interesting things about any piece of media or any video game, where there is a sect of people out there who will be not happy and not play the game, and there will be a sect of players who play the game and are happy, and then you'll have the most interesting group always, which is this group of people who will play the game but constantly be unhappy. And as always with, any gacha game, you kind of have to be okay with not getting stuff, but also have the thrill of maybe getting stuff. With any gacha game, you're never going to have everything unless you spend money, and if you're a free-to-play or thinks otherwise, quite the delusional world you live in. But regardless, today was a really big thing. It was a press conference slash kind of discussion area in Korea with the Korean community, or the intense super fanatic, I don't really want to call them fanatics, but essentially this press conference was basically between Smilegate and the fans, because the Korean community, as I have been looking more and more into it, have found out that, yeah, the Korean community is quite upset lately. And for whatever reason, they went into it today and went at it. And for the most part, I'm going to say this. From what I have read and some of the stuff that I have seen, the players come off a little bit more as, well, psychopaths, would be a nice way of putting it. No, it would be a harsh way of putting it. It is definitely a thing that a lot of players have been acting incredibly, were incredibly rude and incredibly extreme towards Smilegate. Like, there's a couple of things. First of all, when it comes to any game, if you are going to spend thousands of dollars on the game, don't get mad at the developers, or don't blame people for having these things available. If you don't have any control, it's your fault. If you spend a ton of money on this game, get nothing from it, well, that's the way RNG works. Tough titties. Sorry that you just don't understand that. And the other part is that, yeah, it's kind of just your responsibility to accept what you do get and not. I mean, with any gacha game, they get more generous as they go along, so, and they potentially maybe get better rates or get worse rates depending on the game and what they add to the game for features. But honestly, I mean, if you're willing to put money in this game, follow the general rule, please. And if you want to complain afterwards, I don't know, whatever. But don't put any more money into these games than you are willing to lose, because you are not going to get anything back. If you put money into this game, my general feeling is that, hey, I actually enjoy this game, or hey, yeah, I want to take the risk and try and get this character. I understand that it is a risk and that I can get nothing, but maybe I'll get something and that'll be really cool. That is the ups and downs of this kind of thing. But the live stream was quite a few hours long, and there were a couple things that should be noted. First of all, July 25th, there will be an announcement of some balance changes. Also, the potential to recall Sez. For people who do not know, Sez was an attacker who did really well with Wind Rider, and Wind Rider was kind of bugged to the point that you could be, well, press the advantage would be a nice way of putting it, but basically wipe an entire arena team. Damn, I had Wind Rider and Sez this whole time, and I just never knew. It's okay, I don't take arena that seriously. But either way, people will be able to recall Sez, basically getting back what they did invest in him, because they are considering a debuff, so that should be pretty good. The announcement of balance changes should also be interesting. There seems to be some talk that maybe the red, green, blue characters might be getting buffed. And that is potentially interesting, because there has been a potential power shift towards Moonlights, and Some people will say, hey, Moonlights are more geared toward PvP, but obviously some people do want to use their favorite red, green, blue characters in Arena more, so maybe this balance patch will, fix a few things, push some things in the general better direction. Or maybe everybody will complain again. Either way, doesn't. July 31st, they will talk about summoning improvements. If they don't have a solution for this yet, they will announce when they will address the issue. Also, an auto-repeat function. God bless the auto-repeat function. That is something that has kind of been available in some other games I've played, and I just love it. It just makes life a little bit nicer. So there you go, especially in a grind game. Setting that up, I just like it. Nothing else to talk about there. But the summoning improvements, really at this point, yeah, the summoning system is kind of a little bit rough for a lot of people, as people can sink thousands of dollars into a banner and get not what they want. I'm not saying that we necessarily need every banner to be limited from now on, but it might be nice to see maybe a rate increase or something. I guess we'll find out what Smilegate comes up with. August 8th will be their balance update. We'll find out about that later. August 15th will be the ceiling fix. For Moonlight Summons, they are seeming to put in some kind of nothing is set in stone at this point, but they are looking at putting in basically you do so many summons and you get a guaranteed something. What that guaranteed something is right now, will it be a 5-star or a 4-star 5-star? We don't know, but hey, it's something. Before there was nothing, and now there might be something. For everybody who is wondering, it seems that it will be retroactive, so if you have done a lot of Moonlight Summons already, good news, they will count towards it. So you might get, and that's also based on the fact that, Smilegate has done a lot of stuff retroactively, which is pretty good of them. They don't necessarily need to, but the fact that they do is nice. So if you have already done 40 and the cap is at 40 or 50 or whatever it ends up being, maybe 30, because Moonlight Summons are, not the easiest thing to get in the entire world, there will be some guarantee in the future, and I think that goes a long way to potentially alleviate frustrations. As to people who are saying, well, I should just be able to get a 5-star Moonlight or Arbiter Vildred because I spent money on it. That's not how this works, but okay. We'll see what the actual cap needs to be, whether it's 30, 40, 50, 239 trillion, but either way, it seems like something will be on the future. In September, they are looking at a crafting mileage system, which is basically at the end of the crafting system, whatever you need to do to get it, you will get a golden hammer, which will give you a legendary piece of gear or a really good piece of gear. The exact details were not announced. It's not until September, but it is nice to hear that there will be some kind of, crafting gear improvement in the future. That's one of the pieces of the game that I currently have maybe the biggest gripe with, just because I have bad rolls, and that's how it works. You have gripes with stuff you have problems with. September 19th, they're thinking of the implementation of pets with an auto repeat using Stigma. Not entirely sure how it'll work, but hey, good to hear that there's stuff in the future. And a world boss with potentially bigger teams of heroes, but at this point quite unclear, as it's obviously further out. There were also some other details that were not put any specific dates on, but 3-star heroes will no longer use molas. You'll be able to use a different currency, and yes, you'll probably get those molas back. They want to fix 4 to 5-star non-Moonlight heroes, so again, just potentially buffing 4 to 5-star, non-Moonlight heroes, maybe bringing them up a little bit further. Again, I'm technically okay with the Moonlight characters being more geared toward PvP, as PvP is kind of really super endgame. And I get it. People enjoy that kind of stuff. I got comments saying that in the last video, being like, oh, well, I really enjoy this. I want this. Yeah, but people who spend money get more stuff. If you want to say that's unjust, well, I don't know. Maybe you should look at systemic society problems more. You might be actually really good at that. I don't know, but there you go. monthly free unequips to alleviate gold, which I think is just brilliant. It is one of the things I still have the biggest problem with in the design of Epic 7. Just for an RPG that is equipment based, not being able to unequip things for, without using gold, considering that gold is used so many other places, and even enhancing equipment just uses so much gold. So I get the idea that there needs to be a balance between Smilegate selling resources and how much we use of resources, but gold is kind of one of the bigger sticking points, and not being able to change equipment is something that does, in my opinion, one of the worst things in this game in terms of feelings for me personally. Again, I don't know how the rest of you feel, but the idea that I just can't experiment with a lot of characters does go a long way to hurting it. That, and it takes quite a bit of work to make a character 6-star, but people know all about that. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of other things. I think a lot of some of the Korean requests were maybe a little bit justified and a little bit unjustified. Somebody wanted to shut down the Korean servers, which is ridiculous. Some people saying that Koreans were beta testers, which, because, Global came out later and Global didn't have to deal with some of the bugs in the game that Global just never got to experience. And to which I say, yeah, tough shit. I mean, you want to play the game before anybody else? You're going to have to deal with more bugs. And if you want a game with no bugs, well, become a game developer. Make those games. Help people, don't just complain about it. Try and make games with less bugs and show everybody how it's done, because obviously it is not that simple of a thing. But yeah, there's a lot of things that people were commenting about. And for people who are wondering, well, why weren't some issues being addressed, like stamina issues? Because a lot of global players, and I think Asian players, and even Korean players, of course, everybody, is, there isn't enough stamina in the game. There's not enough resources. Why aren't these things being talked about more? Well, that's not what this press conference was about, from my understanding. This was really to address the fact that a lot of the Korean server has been up in arms, just threatening suing, and a whole bunch of negative words potentially between one side and the other. He said, she said, he said, she said, she said. It's probably very difficult to keep track of anything. But regardless, the Korean server has been very angry, and that's what this press conference was about. Not necessarily laying out a roadmap, but hearing a lot of the things, and the Smilegate just doing their best to say, hey, we are working on it. We are trying to, create a game that is both profitable for us, while at the same time fun for you guys. But yeah, we all know at this point that the grind is part of Epic 7. That is just the game that we all signed up for. And yeah, I mean, you're either okay with that or you're not. And for people who are, still playing the game, it's okay to play the game and ask for improvements and everything like that. Death threats against the developer are never okay. This is not something you need. This is something that you play, hopefully, for fun. No matter what type of fun you do enjoy, unless it's just complaining, in which case, I don't know, go to GameFAQs or Gametsu's comment sections. They're really great for that. But yeah, the only other thing, my biggest problem with all of this was the announcement that they tried to make an anime on Netflix, and it didn't happen. I would have absolutely loved to see an Epic 7 anime so badly. Like, I really wanted to see that. That would have been absolutely incredible. Netflix, what the hell? Amazon, please pick this up. Do this, because Epic 7's story is pretty fun. So, and the characters are pretty fun. So I would really love to see that happen in the future. Not dead in the water, but yeah. Either way, the what also happened today was, because of this, there was a recent issues and compensation notice. For anybody out there who has been playing the game, Rerollers, sorry, you're shit out of luck on this one. You ended up getting some stuff in your inbox. Maybe you've noticed, but we got 10 leaves, we got 2 5-star artifact summon tickets, and 2 5-star summon tickets. For somebody who plays on the Asian server like myself, because I have to kind of talk about this in my own perspective, I was not angry. I was a little concerned more recently about the security issues, in which there were people hacking people's accounts and people were losing accounts. That is far more important to me than a lot of the drama. As Epic 7, I spend money on this game. Not a ton of money, just, you know, some here and there, maybe a little bit every month, what I feel comfortable with, because I enjoy this game. I like the characters, I like the animations. People who watch my streams will know that I can get a little tilted on some of the challenges, because some of the challenges in the game are a tad difficult, but for the most part, I enjoy this game a lot. It doesn't hurt that I've had really insanely good luck. And that's not a brag. It is just a consideration to, you know, my own perspective on this game. I don't take this game as seriously as Brave Exvius. Brave Exvius was a game that I played for essentially 3 years and took it very, very seriously and got incredibly burnt out and jaded on a lot of stuff, to the point when they lost my when they really did the big thing against my trust, that was like the final nail in the coffin, so to speak, that really got me just to quit the game. Epic 7, I just take a little bit more lightly. I mean, there's a reason why I just have so many leaves. It's just because I'm not in the game as much. I could be, and I could definitely, you know, really become a, you know, a serious endgame player if I wanted. But I'm quite happy just taking the game in stride and enjoying it. So this was a nice little thing. And before people ask, because I'm sure people are wondering, what I ended up getting was I got my first Alexa's basket, which is pretty cool. I mean, that is one that I kind of wanted for a while. I like the artwork on it more than anything. And I also got Spirit Breath, another one that I did not get before. And for characters, well, I ended up getting, that's not right, my third Charlotte, so a dupe, and my first Violet. So all in all, pretty nice for basically a day in the week when I was not expecting anything. Pretty nice. And I get it, people out there who get dupes feels bad, man, but hopefully you do get something that you want or something that you can use. Either way, I mean, it was something that we basically were not going to be getting, and now we did. And while I think that the Korean server is right to ask for improvements, as we are all right to ask for improvements, we do need to have a little consideration for the other side. They are people. They are trying to do a business. They are not our friends. They do not necessarily owe us anything unless the company did something wrong, in which case, yes, then they probably should be, you know, definitely more apologetic. But I like this game. I like this game a lot. Not just for the characters or the artwork or the story. I like, you know, the music. I like the a lot of the events and everything. I have fun with this game. So that is something to definitely be, you know, I guess a little more reasonable. And yeah, maybe in the last video I was not outraged enough. I was not angry enough over all of these things. But honestly, that's not my perspective on this game. And going forward with Epic 7, that's not really what I want to focus about. I want to focus more on the positives, the great things, the fun things, the characters I like, and doing more reviews and everything like that. God, he's so smug, isn't he? But yeah, tell me what you guys got for your compensation tickets today. Let me know. Let me know how you feel about all of this in the comments below. Try and keep it cordial against me. Try and be, you know, not overly angry. Again, I don't take this super seriously, and I don't think most other people should necessarily take games too overly seriously. They are supposed to be a pastime. They are supposed to be fun. Your definition of fun may be different, but either way, I think stay positive. And if you're not enjoying something, there are tons of games out there. This is not like when I was a kid and there were not as many games available, especially new games coming out constantly. So yeah, enjoy, have a good time, and I will talk to you in the next video. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, no, really, I want to know what you got for characters, because yeah, getting a whole bunch of 5 stars today. Cool. See you next time.